of the failure on the patient. Then the application of it to produce cooking utensils, I can see cutlery like a fork and spoon. And I want to ask about the durability of those products. Then if it can be used to produce cup, tea cup, and some other things, then the thermal stability, thermal resistance, so that when you hold it, it will not feel the heat outside the surface of the product. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for your presentation. I have a 1 in 2 question for you. The first question is, how much does it cost to produce 1 gram of biopolymer? And 2 is, if it's expensive to produce biopolymer, why do we need to scale it up? Because eventually this is a laboratory scale experiment, and if we intend to go further, we need to scale it up. If we want to scale it up, are there parameters that we can compromise? I'm assuming now that it's expensive to produce one, though I don't know the price yet. But all this exercise should not stay at that scale. We need a scale up. Is there going to be a kind of compromise? Because if it's over expensive, it will be like a dead case on arrival. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Our presenter, you have done very well and you have done justice to the presentation. And I want to say that it's very, very, very relevant to Nigeria as a developing nation. More so when there's this challenge, particular challenge of waste management all over. You have done well. My question is just a very simple question. Because I just want to know that whether I want to verify whether we can replicate this study in the laboratory, because I'm interested in partner with some areas.
Thank you very much, Professor Adam, for this very good presentation, especially when it has to do with waste management, the packaging. Interested in the biopolymer being used in packaging, maybe groceries and other things. Now, you've shown us samples of what you have produced. Is it possible to have them, okay, yeah, like this, the slide before this, you show something, yes, this one, okay. Now, these are all biodegradables, and they are biopolymers. Now, take for instance the first one, which has to do, yes, like that nylon, okay. We'll be interested in having a packaging material that will decompose with time. Now, from this your experiment, this research work, can we come up with something similar to this? And if we are going to come up with that, would there be reactions? Maybe with the content and the material, would there be certain reactions? And well, to a layman, just anybody looking at this, what such will be interested is mass production, like what Dr. KK mentioned. So how do we scale this up? Such that at the end of the day, we are not having materials that are not biodegradable in terms of waste management, but those that can be decomposed and which eventually will form some other organic products. Thank you.
My question is, in our landfills,
when the waste are sorted, it is discovered that non-biodegradable wastes are usually in larger quantities than biodegradable wastes. How do we intend to get enough biodegradable waste to produce enough biopolymers that we need? You can attend to the questions, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for the questions. Talking about the question 1 about medical applications of biopolymer in bone surgery. The question was that what is the effect of failure if the biopolymer fails to degrade? What effect will it have on patients? If you look at the production right from the start, we use chicken droppings, we use potato peel mixed with a mineral salt medium to produce volatile fatty acid. What are the contents of volatile fatty acid? We have acetic acid, we have butyric acid, and in the range of 1 to 6 carbon. And it is this volatile fatty acid that was used to culture microorganisms. And after taking it through a specified period of time, the microorganism was dried. When you dry the microorganism, that means you have destroyed the microorganism. The dried form of the microorganism was dissolved in chloroform to lyse the cell of the microorganism, after which the biopolymer was extracted. If we look at from the beginning to the end, all what were used for this production are organic materials that are not harmful to the body. It was after taking it through molding process that it will be used for the bone ligaments that will be used in surgery. I think so far, I'm not a medical practitioner, but I don't think they have been having failure in the past. And if eventually there is failure for the bio, if there is success and this biopolymer breaks down in the body, the reason why they are attending towards using this biopolymer these days is that there won't be second operation to remove metal components that was used to hold the bone together when the wound is fresh. And when the healing takes place in the past, they used to carry out another operation to remove the metal that was used to hold the bone together. But these days, since it was a biopolymer made a ligament that are being used, there is no need. Like what they are using in suture for suturing, if there is how do I say, thermoferron skin. These days in the hospital, what they are using as thread, that suturing thread, is biopolymer. So after the wound, after the wound heal up, you will discover that you will see this thread breaking down on its own. I think that is the liking of what not happen in bone tissue engineering. This biopolymer product will break down naturally, and it is not considered harmful to the body of the patient because what were used in their production were organic materials that are friendly to human body. Our potato peel is the remnant of potato we are eating. Our chicken manure is the droppings from our fowls. So, and I think if there is failure, if it doesn't break down, I don't think it can affect the patient in any way. Then you are asking about the ones that were being used for for cutleries. These ones that are being used for cutleries, like what they normally use to serve food in restaurants, what they normally put inside, I think they would have knowledge of the highest temperature that it can withhold before serving you with it, so that there won't be failure. That is why after production, you need to characterize and take it through some thermal analysis, like DSC that we are talking about, and TGA. TGA is thermogravimetric analysis. DX is I've forgotten so those ones will show the highest temperature that your biopolymer can withstand. And if it is being used for serving food in the restaurant, they won't be foolish to serve you what will be hot past the temperature that that product can withstand. The objective of using this is that after packing the waste from the restaurant, it is dumped. That is where they normally dump it. It is the microorganism that produce it in the first place that we eat it up, because microorganism is commonly available in our environment. As we are now, we have microorganism in the air, in the environment. So if it is dumped in the landfill, before you know it, maybe after 1 month, if you go back and check, you will see that something would have been eating them up. So the objective is just not to accumulate in the environment. So concerning the temperature that it can withstand, then it cannot be used for serving food that will be hot more than the temperature it can withstand. Then, as for the second question regarding the cost of production, like this one this experiment that was done, I can only sit down and calculate some things that were bought. Many things were gotten freely, like chicken manure was gotten freely, potato peel was gotten freely, microorganism was gotten freely. It is the mineral chemicals that were used for mineral salt medium that were bought. The equipment were already in their laboratory there. The name of the center is Center for Resource Recovery. They have been using those equipment over the years. And they all, right from production to characterization to everything, it is available in their lab. So I don't do, the costing was not done for me to be able to say this is how much it will cost to produce 1 gram of biopolymer. Maybe if there is opportunity to carry out that experiment again, costing may be part of our objective for us to be able to know what does it really cost. But the impression is that it is usually costlier to produce biopolymer than synthetic polymer. And if we are looking at the health aspect of it, I think there are some things that can be trade-off. If we say because it is too cost, then let's continue with our synthetic polymer. The whole world is changing. It is only in Nigeria that things are being done anyhow. If you go to abroad, if you go to a developed nation, when you will notice the cost difference right from the supermarket where you want to buy your products. There will be some that will be labeled biodegradable, and there will be some that will be labeled synthetic. That means the wrappings are. So when you want to buy, the one that are packaged using biodegradable polymer will be a little bit costlier than the one that were packaged using synthetic. But when you want to decompose, it is only when you want to do away with your waste. It is only in Nigeria that you can be driving in your car and you'll be throwing away your waste from your car. In developed nation, you will have to take your waste to a point yourself. So by the time you now take it, if it is not degradable waste, you will need to pay for processing of your waste. And then it will be more costlier than you buying biodegradable from the start. That is why people are being forced to go in the direction of biodegradable rather than go in the direction of synthesis.
Yes, ma'am.
Then, if production is expensive, it is our choice to make whether we want to go in the way of green or we want to go in the way of synthetic. Then that can this study be replicated here in Nigeria? Yes, because I was informed from beginning to the end. This is what I produced. This was what I did for my PhD. I produced biopolymer, but unfortunately, I was not able to see it with my eye. After production, we only took our sample to IITA, where analysis was done. It was the result that showed us that what we actually produced was biopolymer, because we didn't have enough equipment to bring it to the close like this. But over there, they have all the equipment. That's why I'm able to come back with some as sample of what I produced. And you can imagine the joy that, so this is the biopolymer. So those are the things that so the experiment can be replicated here in Nigeria, provided we have all the needed equipment. Then, can research come up with a degradability? Okay, that is Professor Ojoawo. That actually, after this production, the second aspect of my work was degrading what was produced. So I wanted to, but unfortunately, the time does not permit me, because I need to carry out the degradability experiment over 3 to 6 months. But with the time that remained did not permit me. I started, but when the time is up for me to leave, I have to remove. That is why some biopolymer were colored. We have already started the degradability experiment to see how long will it take for what we produce to degrade. That is why you can see some that were colored. It is because I have to withdraw them from the. So if I have opportunity here, I can bury them in the soil and follow their degradability up. So it is degradable. So then about scaling up, it is a matter of equipment. We know what were needed. Mineral salt medium we buy. The raw material we can get. But in that area, like this experiment that was carried out over 72 hours, there shouldn't be no light off. Then all the consumables, if you want to buy one now, it will be imported, and you know when you are converting naira to dollar. So this making scaling up to be a little bit. But if the government, if there is funding targeted at that, then there is something that is impossible in it. Then engineer Adeyeju talks about sorting of waste. That is another area where we need awareness. Like in Sweden, what they do is that waste is sorted right from your kitchen. Like once you get there, you have to buy 2 types of these degradable bags. There is color black, there is color white. You need to get them in your kitchen. That means you have 2 waste baskets. You put white in one. So all waste that cannot decompose, you throw them in the white. All waste that can decompose, like ifeja, tomato, everything, you drop them in black. So after maybe 1 week or 3 days, depending on your waste, then you now tie it up. You take it to the drum downstairs and drop it there. Every 3 days, waste management truck will come and empty the drum. When they empty the drum and take it to their waste processing facility, anything in black is organic, those things that can decompose, and anything in white are those ones that cannot decompose. So waste sorting started right from your kitchen. Unlike in Nigeria, whereby everything is mixed up and you just throw it in your dung heap. So that is another problem. If this experiment is to be replicated, that means we can map out some houses and train or orientate them on how to be handling their waste. in order to make it easier for those people that will be coming to collect the waste for processing. Then you are talking about, he said, how do we get enough biodegradable waste to produce enough looking at what we have here, these are even more than enough. Considering what the waste that we are generating in Nigeria on a daily basis, this is a street. Lásán nínú ìgboro, ẹ wo bí waste ṣe tó, àwọn mìíràn. So we have more than enough waste in Nigeria for us to go for large-scale production. It's only funding and availability of equipment that is giving us problem. So if we have enough funding, we'll be able to do large-scale production. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.